Hi, and welcome to RTP Business Live. Our guest today is Brian Azar. Brian is the founder and president of the Coaching Catalyst. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We're glad to have you. Let's jump right into it, and if you can help me with the primary purpose of your business.
Sure. I have as my primary purpose, and it's my mantra, and that is to find out specifically what you want or need, help you get it quickly and elegantly, even if I'm not the one who can give it to you, i.e. being a very strong resource person and networker and a referral person, and have you feel good about my company, the work I do, and myself.
Excellent. I feel good already.
Great. That's the purpose.
What makes you unique now and sets you apart from other businesses?
Well, they call me the sales doctor as well as the sales coach, and it's not about selling. It's really about how to interview people, find out what it is they want to need. And it's like going to a good doctor and having an assessment done, as opposed to too many others who will say, hey, welcome, you see this bottle? It's this liquid, it's going to take care of your ulcers. And you say, I don't have ulcers. Oh, I'm sorry, you see these box of pills?
Right.
They'll take care of your headaches. Now, how many of you are going to stick around with a doctor like that?
Yeah, not going to work for me.
So what I like to do is find out what your wants and needs are. Find out a little bit about your budget. Find out about what you've done in the past, what you want or need now, and what we might be able to do to help you get it in the future.
Excellent. Well, help me out here. What qualifies a company or individual? What makes them right for your services?
Well, number one, we need to talk to the decision maker. If it's an owner, if it's the head of a department, that person who can say yes or no, with no being okay. The second thing is that that person or that organization should have a reasonable budget, that they pretty much know what they want to invest in, and also how they make their decisions, time frame, and again, specifically what it is that they want to need and how we can lay out a process to achieve it.
Okay, and you can help them get to that point.
If they're willing to, yes, if they're committed to getting to that point.
Right.
You know, if they're shopping, if they're interested, you know, we can provide information. But again, that's what qualifies the ideal prospect for us.
Gotcha. Well, how can a company or individual best benefit and utilize your services?
Well, the first thing we do is we have what we call a needs analysis. Just like when you go to a doctor's office, you take a history and you learn what has happened in the past. You learn what the strengths or weaknesses, and we do assessments. We have specific questionnaires that will figure out what the problems and issues are, even what their communication style is, so we can communicate more effectively and teach them how to communicate more effectively. And then they can see the process and the progress come ahead.
Excellent. How do you help individuals and companies once they learn that? How do you help them compete more effectively?
Okay. So let me be careful when I say this. I don't believe that anybody has to, quote, compete. What they need to do is become unique. And not only that, but in many cases, you may want to collaborate and cooperate with some of those other vendors or those other individuals or those other companies so that you have a positive opening for working together, as opposed to having to beat each other. And the way you do that is, again, you learn what your strengths are, you focus on that. And if you will follow the same process, which I have as an interviewing system, finding out what it is the competition does, learn from it, take the strengths from it, eliminate the weaknesses, and follow through with the best bet, the best steps you can take.
So you don't necessarily see it as a zero-sum game.
Oh, absolutely not.
Both sides potentially could benefit.
Absolutely. If it doesn't, then you may not want to do business with that particular company or individual.
Right, right. Gotcha. Well, we've covered a lot of important ground today, Brian. Are there any things that you want the folks out there to know that we haven't had a chance to touch on?
Well, to leave this interview, I'd like to say that for the folks who are watching us, that in this day and age, what's going on, not only locally and nationally and globally, we've got to focus on being positive. We've got to focus on staying above the frayas, above the chaos. And to do that, I help people do a little more on the brain change. So I do teach positive psychology, and I ask people Focus on what you can get done. Focus on what's good, as opposed to worrying and complaining about what's going on is bad.
That's a great message, and it's a great frame of mind to get yourself into to really do business effectively today.
Right.
Thank you so much, Brian, for coming in today. We appreciate your time. Folks, if you want to find out more about Brian Azar and his business, The Coaching Catalyst, there will be some information at the end of this video. Also on the web page, you'll find more information and links to Brian's website so that you can get in touch with Brian and learn more. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is Bob Collier with RTP Business Live. Thanks again. We'll see you real soon.